How are you doing, everyone? My name is Aaron and I like to kitbash things out of old toys and model kits. This week's theme is post-apocalyptic and the build came about from a fever dream I had months ago. After a new virus decimated the UK, the Scots built a huge wall along the borders guarded by rail runners. So what is a rail runner? It's like a tram that zips along the border wall, patrolling and stopping by force anyone who tries to climb the huge concrete walls that protect the Scottish borders. In my dream, the runners were built from scrap metal, heavily fortified with pew-pew guns. So to make that, I'm sorting through one of my many model kits to look for parts. And I'll use these two wings from a plane as the sides of the runner and build up from there. I'll use the bonnet from a car kit to attach both wings together. To hide my sins or the gaps, 2mm plasticard is cut down and used to stabilise the front end. Now it's just a simple matter of using more plasticard to make the floor. This is my sprue glue, which is basically bits of sprues thrown into a near empty glue container, wait for it to dissolve before it becomes sprue glue. It's my new go-to filler to cover large gaps, which once set can be sanded down using one of my other half's nail files while she's out. Even though the rail runner is powered by electricity, it has an engine on the back just in case the grid goes down. So I'm looking for bits on this sprue that I can fashion some sort of engine. But while I was doing that, I found some bits that could make a cabin for the crew. These mudguards now become the roof of the cabin. Our driver's going to need somewhere to sit, so in goes a chair. And then just for fun, I added the back seat from a car model kit. I put this steering wheel in, but that gets changed later on because I just needed to put the pole in position. I've changed that over for some pew-pew guns very shortly. Then I add bits of broken model kits to the sides of the runner. These help it stay on the electric tracks. Time for the engine to get fitted into place. That doesn't look too bad, to say that I didn't have a lot of the engine to play around with. For the front end, I again used scrap bits from model kits to give it a little depth. It may look kooky now, but once the paint goes on, it should look okay. Adding more bits to the other side of the runner. I found these tank turrets from a couple of broken builds which will fit nicely on this new build. I put the runner to one side to start the base, as this will require some drying time. Firstly, XPS foam. This is Europe's version of the American pink foam, which we cannot get here simply because it's more dangerous. What's wrong with the little danger? I'm also using a broken ceiling tile that fell off the bathroom wall. Don't ask, I won't tell any lies. The white tile will be the wall. Steve, the TBA test dummy, is for scale. I received a scratch building package from the Wolflag and it had this air drying clay inside, so I thought I'd make the walls out of this stuff. And looking back, future self should have thought about this and made one large sheet instead of doing it the dummy way of 4 individual strips of clay. Nevertheless, while the clay dried, it was on to making the rails the model was going to sit on. I stick BBQ sticks into the XPS foam, then use super glue to attach the top rail. As you can see, this was proving to be a little difficult, so to save from embarrassing myself further, I'll just move on. The clay had almost dried, so I stuck it down onto the styrofoam using hot glue. And while I do that, it's subscriber shout out time. It's my way of saying thank you to all my watchers who leave a comment. Please keep them coming, as watching and commenting really help the channel, and more names will drop at the end of this video. So the wall looks like how I imagined it, a hastily built wall, ropey, a bit like my builds. I use a pokey tool to add holes, and while the clay is still a little supple, I ease out my stress of the day by distressing the wall with a 3-2-1 block. That's actually so satisfying. I'd coated the clay when fully dry with Mod Podge before putting down the base coat of grey. Hang on. I painted the wall with a black primer. I have no idea why I started with the grey. It was a stressful day at work. Now the base colour was down, it was on to painting the wall grey. And while I had the airbrush out, I swapped colours and painted that the black. I wanted to make the runner look weather worn, so I'm going to have yet another attempt at chipping. So I'm going to paint a rust colour in certain places around the model. For the chipping effect, I'll use Vallejo's chipping medium, which I paint over the rust parts. Once all that is dry, it's on with the top coat, which I'm choosing blue, as blue is on the Scottish flag, I do believe. And before I get some comments saying that is the incorrect blue, I will be going back over it with a darker blue very shortly. I'm going to do a quick dry brush on all the railings and then paint them yellow, just a little bit of safety awareness. And it was at this point when I realised what I hadn't done before spraying the blue paint. I'd never covered the model in matte varnish, because if I had, I would have been able to show you the wonderful chipping effects. Instead, all I've got is me rubbing paint off, revealing the black undercoat. So instead I'll just show you a picture of me inserting the wall through the little gap, which is the rails which the rail runner will sit on. Give you the code word for this build, which you put in your comments so I know you got here before skipping, and the code word is varnish. Then show you a couple of shots of me in panic mode trying to rescue this build before the glamour shots. So thanks for watching, and as always, keep scratching that build, everybody.